But it is very important that we find out who Hillary is, because she might very well be our president. And there is developing a perfect storm of elements that are laying the basis for a Hillary Clinton candidacy for president. And the country itself is becoming more Democrat at the rate of 0.5% a year. That's as a result of black and Hispanic in-migration. So you look at the election right now for Bush, and the poor guy lost to Gore by 0.5 point in the popular vote. Nader got 3 points, and the country's gotten 2 points more Democrat. So he's got to gain 6 points just to break even and just to have a tie election. And in 4 years, that's going to be even more, and in 8 years, even more. The Clintons control the fundraising apparatus of the Democratic Party. Hillary has not done much in the Senate. There's no major bill or amendment, nothing she ever introduced passed, even the remotest amendment, no hearings, no initiatives, kind of nothing. But what she's done is to go to 127 fundraisers for other senators and other members of Congress and other governors in other states and develop IOUs from those people that she can cash in when she runs for president. So there's a very good chance that we could end up with a Hillary Clinton presidency. If Kerry wins and goes for re-election in 2008, regardless of how that turns out, she's a very likely candidate in 2012. The polls show she could have won the nomination in 2004. She had 3 times the vote of all of the other candidates combined at the start of the election. So what is Hillary Clinton really like? The book offers us no clue. So we went beneath the book to the Hillary Clinton that Eileen and I have known for over 2 decades, to really explore that. Well, there's good news and there's bad news. I believe that the time that I really began to break with Hillary, the time that I really began to worry about her, was after the Monica Lewinsky scandal, because Bill Clinton called me and told me the truth about the Lewinsky scandal. He said, he called me on the day the story broke, and he said, I didn't do what they said I did, but I may have done so much that I can't prove my innocence. I really screwed up with this girl. And I had no idea what he meant until months and months later, and then I said, oh no, you don't mean that. Yeah, I guess you do. But I knew that Monica Lewinsky and Linda Tripp were telling the truth, because he told me that. And then I watched as Hillary and these detectives that she kept on the payroll went after Monica, went after Linda, and just tore them apart. They were stalkers. It was a vast right-wing conspiracy. They were blackmailing the president. She brought presidential knee pads to Washington. It was coercive. Poor Linda Tripp's personnel file was illegally released. She sued subsequently and collected $500,000 from the Pentagon for the violation of her privacy rights. She was indicted. She was tried for the crime of taping Monica Lewinsky, and thank goodness she was acquitted. Can you imagine if the only person that went to jail in that whole thing was Linda Tripp? And I looked at the way these detectives descended on these women. Now, when I worked for Bill Clinton, I had no idea if Paula Jones or Jennifer Flowers were telling the truth. Okay, I'd assumed they weren't, because Clinton told me they weren't. But then when I saw what they did to these women who were telling the truth, it really began to raise concerns. And then when he admitted that Jennifer Flowers and he had had an affair, Hillary, by the way, still dismisses her allegations as a whale of a tale in her book and makes no mention of the tape recordings of conversations between Jennifer and Bill Clinton. And Hillary, in her book, still denies the Paula Jones story and makes light of the fact that they had to pay her $850,000 to settle the case. And in her book makes not one mention, not one word, about her husband being stripped of his law license for 5 years as a result of perjuring himself in the depositions in that Paula Jones case. Not one word about that. That's not living history. But when you look back at this record, it is a record that reminds you of J. Edgar Hoover and Richard Nixon. 30, 40, 50 women had their backgrounds dug up by these detectives. Every DWI, every custody case, every divorce case, every arrest record, every property tax issue, everything that ever happened in these, an abortion, all of this stuff came out. And they would present these women with this information and say, you have to sign an affidavit denying that you'd had a relationship with Bill Clinton. And it began to really make me sick. And the big part of Hillary that gives me this tremendous pause is this ruthlessness, this absolute determination to personally crush anybody that gets in her way.